I would like to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe that impoverishing corruptors give many positive impacts and way more effective to overcome corruption issues that happen in our society right now. So let's jump to my point of rebuttals. Okay, the first one, the opening opposition said that by impoverishing the corruptors, it can take away the children's future. I mean, the corruptors' children's future. And the Prime Minister actually already explained that impoverishing means pay back more than 100% that they have stolen from the society, right? But I will give you another concept of impoverishing that corruptors is that we taken away their money that they have stole from citizens, from the citizen. So I mean, it's like the exact amount of money that they have stolen. It doesn't mean that they are going to be so poor. For example, the thing is, even before you are officially become politicians, for example, there are a lot of requirements that you need to follow. You need to afford like a financial enrollment, for example. And I believe the budget is not cheap and it's considered as an expensive one. So this regulation is very selective in terms to choose the one who can afford it, then can be the candidate of any political members, for example. And of course, the candidate will come from middle to upper class society. And when they are doing some corruptions and they are being punished by impoverished them, for example, the government will impoverish them, for example, they will back to their own life that I believe are quite far from the word poor. So there is no need to care to their children needs because they still can afford it, I believe. And then the opposition also said about the behavior of the corruptors, that the corruptors are not going to change, even they are already being impoverished, for example. But okay, I would like to admit, yes, there is no certainty of them to change their behavior, but I would say that what about the rehabilitation? What about if you do rehabilitation, for example? Even in rehabilitation, they are, I mean, the corruptors, they being taught to get off of their corrupt behavior, for example, with so many behavioral lessons, for example. It doesn't mean that they are going to be normal or are going to be healed in terms they are not going to corrupt again, to do the corruption again, for example. And I would say that there's still any possibility for them to still doing corruption even after they are being rehabilitated. So it's not effective for them to be rehabilitated. So I would say that improvising them is way more effective. And then about the criminal justice system has no specific responsibility to protect the victims. Yes, they has no any responsibility to do that, but let's see it in a larger scale of society right now. If someone doing corruption, they are stealing money from the victims, which mean like the civilians or the citizen of the country, and the citizen protection are on government's hands, right? And so even though the CGRs, I mean the criminal justice system, has no responsibility over it, I mean to the victims, the government still have that responsibility to protect their citizen, right? They need to protect the citizen welfare at all costs, at any cost. And by impoverishing the corruptors, I believe it will work more effective than doing a rehabilitation. The another one is the leader of opposition said that jail is enough for them. Impoverishing the corruptors. Okay, let's see corruptors cases in Indonesia like several years ago. Like you know Jayus Tambunan, he went for Jayus Tambunan cases. He was imprisoned by but still can do everything he want. For example, in that time he ever can visit another place instead of staying in the prison, it means that there will be possibility of corruptors to also doing the same thing as him, remembering that there are also that kind of thing that happen, so it can cause even bad impacts to the society, that the corruptors are not being punished properly, and by impoverishing them could be the answer to this case. And the another one is corruptors family is not innocent people, I would say, because okay, let's admit some of them maybe surely is innocent, because they have like got nothing to do with their parents' work, for example, and they have got nothing to do with the corruption that their parents did. But let's also admit that there are several cases. The members of the family of corruptors are knowing the fact that their parents are doing corruption, for example, and but they not report it to the police, for example. So from this, they can't be called as innocent people. They are not being sacrificed by their family members who did the corruption. They are also offender of the laws in the country. They need to be punished as well as an impact of the thing that they did. The another one is the corruptors that being impoverished will going down to the lowest level of the society, and it increased the possibility of them to do like petty crime, like stealing and etc. But I would say that corruptors that already being impoverished by the government will be monitored by the government as well. Why? Because some of them are corruptors that even stealing a huge amount of money from the society. They once, or maybe more than once, became threat to the state. So the government will monitor them. So it can prevent, actually this thing can prevent them to do petty crimes like stealing and etc. That's why I really proud to propose the motion. Thank you.